Texas defense is right there to grab David O'Bray, a sophomore out of New Orleans. Paul Tabor, a junior from Houston. Jody Farthing is at center. He's an Oklahoman. Greg Roberts is from Nacogdoches. Sam Clapham is an Oklahoman out of Stillwell. And Victor Hicks is a big horse, 260-pound tight end out of Lubbock, Texas. Kimball is wide to the right. It is second down and still without 10. A handoff goes to King. This time the Horns get him at about the 18-yard line with Lance Taylor, the middle linebacker, and Steve McMichael, the tackle. Texas defensive front, that's a marvelous name for a defensive end. Ron Bones, Steve McMichael, Bill Acker, and Dwight Jefferson. The linebackers are Schultz, Taylor, and Sinline, and the defensive secondary, Hatchett, Blackwood, Churchman, and Johnson. Rhodes is back in. He's wide to the right. Put it on the 18. Call it third down and 8 for the Sooners. Offensive line off real quick. Big hole, Sims. Touchdown. Line came off there so fast I thought they were offside, Frank.
Yeah, it's not a wishbone play. It's an isolation play with the backs leading him with such a gaping hole. The safety man's moved all the way over. No one there to make the play. And Oklahoma, surprisingly enough, has not run a wishbone play yet.
Von Sherman for the extra point. He's got it. And his record grows. Uwe Von Sherman now with an NCAA extra point record without a miss. He has 94, and Oklahoma leads 7-0. Time it is. The referee today is Dan Foley, Richard Stovall, the umpire, Frank Ellis, the linesman. The line judge is Glenn Lipman, Barney Welch, the back judge, or the field judge, and the back judge is our old buddy out of Colorado, Alabama Glass.
Keith, they're not surprised that they scored the first time they had the ball. They had in every game this year.
Reggie Mathis, Johnny Goodman, Reggie Kinlaw, Phil Tabor, Bruce Tayton are the people up front for Oklahoma. George Cumbie, Darrell Hunt, the linebackers. Texas comes up now, as you see, the Oklahoma defensive unit in the secondary. From the 37-yard line, McEachern, got to keep it. And he is cracked down right about the line of scrimmage by number 74, Phil Tabor, a 244-pound senior out of Houston, Texas. There was just no way to get rid of the ball on the pitch because the Oklahoma defense had penetrated and just messed it up.
They forced him to keep it inside, and when he did, he throttled down, and you cannot do that on option play because pursuit will catch you, and Phil Tabor came from right tackle all the way across and made a fine play.
So it is second down, and now it's going to be all the way back to the 32-yard line. So let's call it second down and close to 15 for the Longhorns. Penalty flag thrown as the Texas quarterback McEachern is decked behind the line of scrimmage one more time and penetrating. Here's the offensive unit now for Texas. Ryder and Sheeran. Wes Hubert is snapping the ball. The other guard is Jim Yarborough out of Galveston. Terry Tosh. And Les Studdard is the tight end out of Pearsall, Texas, number 92. Obviously, Oklahoma would decline that penalty and take the play with the loss, illegal procedure. And here we go now with third down and about 20.
Keith, Texas is going to have to throw the ball. Oklahoma single covering their receivers, even though Lamb Jones has the blazing speed, but they have not had success throwing, and they're going to force them to before they move the ball.
Third and about 20. McEachern gives the ball to Ham Jones, and there's not much there. He tries to run it over the left side, gets it across the 30 to the 32. Phil Tabor takes him down. Erxleben comes on the punt.
There's the tango, and 1, 2, 3 kick, and you can't do it against a team like Oklahoma. You might get by with defense and kicking against an average team, but unlikely you can do it against Oklahoma and win.
Freddie Nixon will go deep for the Oklahoma Sooners, number 11. He didn't have a chance to touch it the last time. Erxleben is kicking into what wind there is. It comes through the tunnel, sort of like a Venturi tube, and accelerates. But that looks more like an Erxleben kick. And a fair catch is called up front by Basil Banks, number 17. And the Oklahoma Sooners, off a 34-yard punt, get the football first down at their own 34-yard line.
Keith, Barry Switzer told me that he didn't think he could run the base wishbone against the outstanding Texas defense, that he was going to design plays this year to get the ball to their great halfbacks. What happens ordinarily in a game like this, their two halfbacks become blockers. They don't get the football. It's a quarterback, fullback, but in this game so far, a different offense.
Over the ball come the Sooners now with the same offensive set. Out of the wishbone formation, but different moves in it. It's Overstreet getting outside. When they get outside, they're dynamite. And Overstreet is thrown out of bounds up at the 46-yard line of Oklahoma. And that ought to be a first down as he goes for about 12, and Johnny Johnson makes the tackle. Look at it from the end zone view.
You can watch the quarterback take the ball back in the backfield. Not a wishbone play. He's going to hand it off so the good ball-carrying ability of David Overstreet can use his ability here. He does. He breaks outside, makes the man miss him, and Johnny Johnson finally runs him down after a big gain.
At the 46 of Oklahoma, Sooners have the ball. Throws it to stand. Intended for Bobby Kimball. Might very well have chosen to throw it away rather than risk it.
Hatchett was right on top of him, Keith. The Texas challenges you with their secondary, and they did it all last year. Every coach tried to beat them deep, but they would just get right up and play you man for man and let Johnny Johnson back him up. Of course, in wishbone, Johnny Johnson's playing linebacker. He's up that close. He can't help him deep. It's one-on-one, a lonesome feeling.
This time Hicks goes way wide to the right, the big guy. On second down and 10, Lott goes wide to Sims. Texas almost penetrated and almost intercepted it. Lott is up near midfield. Coming in there hard for Texas and almost getting a piece of the ball was one of the defensive secondary people, and he really reached in there to get a hold of it. Johnny Johnson, I guess it was.
Ricky Churchman, number 8, their strong safety, shot his gun, kamikaze as we say it, and the halfback was lucky to make the block and prevent a fumble. Made a nice gain out of it.
They marked the ball at the 47-yard line, where it is third down now and 9 for the Oklahoma Sooners. They lead by a score of 7-0 with 8:50 to play in the very first quarter. The Sooners scored in their first offensive possession, marching 5 times, 77 yards to get the 7 points. Third and long. Lott coming to the left. Turns upfield, runs right through one tackle, gets it down into Texas country to about the 47-yard line before Johnny Johnson again comes up to make the tackle for the Longhorns, but it is short of a Sooner first down. They will have to punt it.
I believe that was a busted play, Keith. The tailback was supposed to be the pitch man. He went the opposite direction. Lott had no one to pitch to when the defense finally cornered him.
Texas now in receiving position, sends back
Darrell Ray.
Glenn Blackwood. Darrell Ray is back to do the punting. Von Schumann had done some of the punting, but today it's Darrell Ray doing the kicking. Hits a knuckleball down there, and Blackwood makes the catch and then pays the price for it at the 15-yard line. Freddie Dixon was the man downfield making the stop for Oklahoma. So the Longhorns get the ball one more time, and it's in be careful country at their own 15. Texas comes up now with the ball. First down at the 15. Up front, it's Ryder, Sheeran, Hubert, Yarborough, Tosh, and Lamb Jones. And Oklahoma sends up a 4-man front, 2 linebackers. The cornerback is up on the outside against the double wide by Texas, and McEachern back to throw the football. He gets some pressure. Hunt almost got him behind the line of scrimmage. Threw it away. Reggie Mathis, the defensive end, number 58, you saw come roaring in there, really put the heat on.
Keith, he had dropped off to defend against the pass. When he saw McEachern get outside, he charged in and came close to getting him. Before he threw the ball, at least he disrupted his pattern.
So it is second down and 10 for the Longhorns, who have been inept so far offensively against Oklahoma. In rushing, Oklahoma with 97 total yards. Texas on the ground, -1 so far in the game. Kermit Goody is now in, number 35, a sophomore out of Hallettsville, Texas. Ended in the middle, not much there. The play gets up to about the 18-yard line with Ham Jones out of Hamlin, Texas. That's why they call him Ham. He's from Hamlin. George Cumby, number 28, made the tackle. He's a former fullback, playing linebacker for Oklahoma, and he's a dynamite football player.
4.5 speed. They had so many ball carriers that, can you imagine, they don't need a 4.5 fullback, and they moved him to defense. He makes All-American the first year he's played defense. That's unbelievable.
Leroy King, 215-pound junior out of Weimar, Texas, is in the Texas backfield as they work out of the I formation with 3 men in a wide position, 3 possible wide receivers. Eachin looking for some room to throw, gets it off. The pass is thrown upfield, intended for Mike Lockett, number 47. And he can't hang on. So the Longhorns will have to punt it.
You can see it's an in and out pattern, which the halfback on the outside was held up front, up close, and the safety man, Jimerson, comes right over the top and knocks him loose from the ball just before he comes down for a completion.
Ertzleben is now on. He'll punt, and deep to receive. Brady Nixon, number 11, a 5'11", 195-pound junior out of Miami, Florida, and neither one of the punters have hit much so far in the ball game. Backing up, fair catch, Darrell Ray, who's doing the punting today. He also plays free safety for Oklahoma, and the Sooners get good field position again at the 48-yard line, a 33-yard punt. Later today, here on ABC, the National League Championship Series begins. Game number 4, 4 o'clock Eastern Time. Philadelphia Phillies and the Los Angeles Dodgers. Dodgers 2-1 edge. And then tonight at 8 Eastern Time, the American League Championship Series. The Yankees leading the Kansas City Royals 2-1. Thomas Lott turns around, hands it inside, and the Longhorn defense just swarms David Overstreet. And Frank Ross, Texas defense, playing one of the more unusual alignments I've seen in a long time, with 2 down linemen and everybody else in an upright.
Keith, they've got the 2 linemen playing over the guards and 7 other men that can run 4-7 or better, pursuing up and down the line. And Barry said this is the reason it's tough to make yards in the basic wishbone attack. They have too much speed.
Their original opinion was if they get Oklahoma running sideline to sideline, they might be able to play them, but so far they have not been able to do it. As Vicky Ray Anderson, out of the fullback position, hits over the right guard, crosses midfield, and goes down to about the Texas 46. That'll bring up 3rd down. They will need 3 yards. It is an absolutely gorgeous afternoon in Dallas, Texas. I can't find the cloud. Well, there's a little one right up there, but you have to look. Rhodes is wide to the left, locked to the ball, looking for the corner, slips and falls down short of the 45-yard line. It'll be 4th down as Bruce Schultz, outside linebacker on the left side, was there to get him. He's a sophomore out of Austin. There's the time remaining in the first quarter of play, and Oklahoma, having driven for a touchdown in its first possession, 5 plays, 77 yards, lead it 7-0, and the Sooners now will punt. Blackwood is back. Leg is bending back on his 10-yard line. Little pressure on him, but the kick is away, and Ray hangs it up there. It hits on the 58 and caroms into the end zone. He was trying to knock that thing out of bounds in the coffin corner. 45-yard punt by Ray. Texas will get the football. First down at the 20. 5:15 to play in the first quarter, and the Sooners on top 7-0. Yes.
No, not me. My wife would love him, but I don't like it.
The Texas State Fair in full bloom. By the time midnight comes, they will have, they guess, 300,000 folks pass through Fair Park. Texas ball, first down, 20-yard line. Eachin still at quarterback, gives it to the up man out of the I formation. That's Leroy King, the biggest of the running backs, and he doesn't have much. He wedges it out to about the 24. And be more like the 23. So it'll be 2nd down and 7. Horns are going to have to put that ball up, and they're going to have to succeed with some air game in order to spread those Okies out.
We got him. Right in the mouth, babe.
What amounts to a 6-man front up there with that one cornerback sitting right up on the nose, and the ball is given to Ham Jones. He almost popped out of there. He's up to about the 28-yard line, so they'll be looking at 3rd and 2 as Phil Tabor made the tackle for Oklahoma.
That's the first play. They've had just a little bit of movement by the offensive line, and that's what you're looking for. The defense must stop them at the line if they're going to stop the play. If the offense gets some movement, they're going to make some yards. That time, they got some movement over Tabor on the right side.
3rd down and about 2 for the Longhorns. They send Lamb Jones wide to the right side. Johnny from Lampasas, the Olympic sprinter. McEachin rolls and throws it out of bounds. Incomplete. Lamb Jones had cut inside on the turn, and the ball was thrown well behind him with 4:02 to play in the first quarter. Texas will turn it over to Oklahoma as Erxleben comes in to kick.
Busted pattern by Lamb Jones, or the quarterback called it wrong. Something happened anyway. It was a glaring mistake on one or the other.
The Columbia that made the trek in from L.A. is flying in the Texas sky for us this afternoon, carrying cameraman Billy Sullivan. Erxleben's kick is in the air, and there's a dandy. Now that's Erxleben. It runs Nixon all the way back to his 17-yard line, and Freddie slips and falls down about the 20. He was trying to cut back against the grain, and that time Erxleben into the wind hit one 55 yards.
That's their best offense, as we said earlier. You kick them back and let them handle the ball on their own goal line or close to it. If they do leave it on the ground, you got some points on the scoreboard.
Oklahoma, top ranked in the nation, coming into this ball game, and it is, believe it or not, the 12th time in this 72-game series that one of these teams has come into this game ranked #1 in the nation. Well, there's a little bit of hitting by the Texas defense as Dwight Jefferson, number 80, just popped David Overstreet, the sophomore out of Big Sandy.
Still, Keith, not a base wishbone play. Still taking the ball away from the line of scrimmage, handed to their ball carriers with isolation blocking, leading for the fullback and off halfback.
Of course, the reasoning for that is very simple, as you stated earlier. They want those halfbacks, Overstreet and Sims, to have the ball because they are something special. From the 22-yard line, second down and 10. This time it goes inside to Dickie Ray Anderson, the fullback. And he is whacked down, and I do mean whacked, at about the 28-yard line. That's going to be about, well, I'll give him to the 29, make it 3 yards short of the first down, with Johnny Johnson and Glenn Blackwood, the safety man, and the cornerback making the stop.
Glenn Blackwood's father played for me at Baylor many years ago, and his brother is playing for Baltimore. Lyle Blackwood is a starter in Baltimore secondary. Good player, good family.
Hicks comes to the boundary side of the field, the tight end on third down and 3. Thomas Lott gives to Sims, closer. Texas defense is right there. Number 32, Lance Taylor, middle linebacker, penetrating, locked his legs, short of the 30. And the Sooners will have to punt.
That gives them a little momentum. You see Texas perk up a little bit, stopping them a 1-2-3 and forcing the kick.
Barris Switzer on the Oklahoma side of the field. And Darrell Ray is in to do the punting. Blackwood is deep to receive for Texas. Ray gets it off, and it's a dandy. Blackwood's got to go way back to the 20-yard line. And he's down at the 21. And Freddie Nixon again, number 11, was downfield to get him. That's a 49-yard punt. But he is kicking with the win, and there's Bevo. I would think Bevo would get a little nervous being brought to the Texas State Fairgrounds.
He would, Keith. That's a good point. Darrell Ray is kicking for Oklahoma because the coaches were a little bit concerned about Don Schumann's ability to catch the snap. He's fumbled twice behind the goal line against Stanford for a safety, last week against Missouri for a safety.
McEachin remains at quarterback. This time they go to a split back formation with King and Ham Jones set in the backfield. Ball is given to Ham Jones, and not a whole lot there as he tries to get outside, cutting away, and he just got pinched. Give him a yard on it. He's carried 6 times now for 13 yards in the ball game. Reggie Mathis, defensive end, and Johnny Goodman, defensive tackle, made the stop for the Sooners.
They say the Sooner defense has been a little porous. They don't look like it today because the other team has had no success throwing the ball to loosen them up.
Well, Barry's got to have something to worry about. Second down and 8 from the 23-yard line. McEachin wants to throw. The pressure's on, and he gets it back to the 20, and that's all. He loses 3 yards. Darrell Hunt, number 85, linebacker, was the man that got him, with Reggie Kinlaw, number 62, coming from that middle guard position.
Kinlaw was a linebacker in high school, an All-American from Miami, Florida. Everybody in the nation recruited him, and he ended up at Oklahoma, nose guard, and has had a fabulous career.
Played last year with cartilage rattling around in his knee, and he refused surgery, came on back and just played super for him. Third down, 11 yards to go from the 20-yard line of Texas. McEachin tries to throw it to Ham Jones, and Ham gets it up across the 25 to the 27. Bruce Tatum comes on to make the tackle. 211-pounder out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. And so for the 5th time in the ball game, Texas will employ the tango offense.
Keith, I would guess that Oklahoma is going to come out throwing a little bit. They had just a little bit of time before they lose the win, and they haven't loosened up the Texas defense the last 2 possessions.
Last time Ertzleben punted, he had a 55-yarder. Freddie Nixon is the deep man. Punt from the money, no pressure. Good kick again by Russell. Nixon comes up, makes the catch, spins around, falls down. And that's embarrassing. You got your big juke going for you, and suddenly you can't stand up. 41-yard punt.
And he had a little wall set up, Keith. He was setting the blockers up so that he could get to the wall, and had he gotten away from one man, he would have been long gone, as he has in a couple of games last year.
You know, it could be, Frank, that this artificial surface here might be a little bit different than what the Sooners have been working on, and perhaps they're not used to it, because we've already seen Uwe von Schumann almost fall down, in fact, on 2 kickoffs.
This one's been on this turf, on the ground here for over 10 years.
Well, then it's worn out.
Yes.
Pretty close to it. Play goes inside. It doesn't necessarily mean it's worn out. It's just that it's worn down to the nub, and if you can get a solid grip on it with your foot, you really get more traction out of it. Steve McMichael, the tackle there on Billy Sims, the ball carrier. A gain from the 33-yard line of Oklahoma up just beyond the 35. First quarter has come to a close for a full house at the Cotton Bowl in Dallas, Texas. And after 1 period of play, it's Oklahoma 7 and Texas nothing. Get a free view of the football game riding the gondola across the state fairgrounds here in Dallas. Most precious thing in town, I guess, was a ticket, and there were some folks walking around asking some fancy prices. On 2nd down and 7, it is Lott going to put it up. He loops it. He throws it. Sims just got it, and Sims steps out of bounds down at the Texas 29-yard line. A marvelous pass completion. Johnny Johnson was right there. The only thing he could have done was had a net go over Sims. Great play.
Keith, it surprised Texas. Oklahoma went into unbalanced line. They did not have an end on the side that Sam slipped out from the backfield, and Johnson was playing up so close. Sims ran right by him, and Johnson could not catch him.
You can see from the first quarter numbers that Oklahoma didn't have any yards on the stats in passing, but now they do. And the ball is loose, and Texas recovers it. Steve McMichael picked up the bouncing ball as it was knocked out of the grip of Vicky Ray Anderson.
From the end zone, you'll see, watch the cross blocking between the right tackle and right guard of Oklahoma. That allows some penetration in the backfield, and King gets hit before he has time to tuck the ball away, and Mike Michael, who is an outstanding football player, pounces right on it. Big break for Texas.
And the Horns have the ball just outside their own 20-yard line. First down and 10 as we begin the second quarter of play. Donnie Little, the freshman, is now in at quarterback. A little stronger runner than McEachern, but not maybe as good on the ground. Over the right side goes Ham Jones, a senior out of Hamlin, Texas. And he punches in there for not much more than a yard, maybe 2. Give him 2. It'll be 2nd down and 8 coming up. Reggie Kinlaw plays a nose guard for Oklahoma in the white, number 62.
He just shoves the center aside and makes the play. And Hubert is a great center for Texas, but Kinlaw had a charge going that way before the snap.
Right at 2nd down and 8. Sonny Little sets in there. He's a 194-pound freshman out of Dickinson, Texas. And that's one of the problems you have in a pressure football game like this. It gets loose once in a while, and especially when you've got a youngster in there and Oklahoma comes out of the stack with the ball. But I'm not sure they're going to get possession of it. That's Reggie Mathis dancing around, and now we get the indication from the officials as they unpile everybody. And Kinlaw was in the middle of it, and he may have been responsible for the ball being knocked loose. And the Sooners will have it first down at the Texas 26-yard line. So Oklahoma makes a break for itself.
Youth quarterback coming in, working with a first-string center. You have to be extremely careful, particularly if that center's got to block Reggie Kinlaw, Oklahoma's nose guard, because he'll charge out a little bit quick. Watch, he never gets possession of it, as Hubert was firing out, and the ball just squirms along, and nobody knows exactly where it is till the last minute.
Here we go now with a Sooners again getting to the outside. Billy Sims carries. He's down to about the 10-yard line before he is finally wrestled out of bounds by Blackwood, Johnson, and Churchman. And it's 16 yards on the carry for Billy Sims. So he's doing to Texas what he's done to everybody else this year, tearing them up.
He has not played against Texas in the previous 2 seasons because of an injury, but he rushed for over 7,000 yards in high school and was the most recruited football player. Here it is, the fake to the fullback, great block by Victor Hicks. He bounces outside and turns it over.
He's carried 6 times for 42 yards. Thomas Lott sets him now, just inside the 10-yard line, and it goes to the fullback. And Vicky Ray Anderson, a 206-pound senior out of Oklahoma City, is finally put down by Lance Taylor, the middle linebacker, but he's down there near the 7-yard line.
Well, the Oklahoma coaches got mad with King. He fumbled that ball, and he's on the bench. That's the first time that the offense, first offense, has lost a fumble in 2 ball games.
Rhodes is wide to the left now for the Sooners. Overstreet. Anderson and Sims set behind Lott. Thomas keeps it, turns it up, and he's to about the 2-yard line. He was the leading rusher for Oklahoma coming into the ball game. He's brought down by Robinson, Lyon, and Lance Taylor.
Keith, Texas couldn't play it any better. Bones crosses all the way in the backfield, and they have what they call the loaded block, but he forces Lott to run so deep in the backfield that pursuit should get him, but Lott is, look at his powerful legs and just picking up 4 or 5 yards after he was hit.
Football is near the 2-yard line, double tight end. Forrest Valora and Victor Hicks are in there. Lott turns, gives to Sims, and he goes up to the top, and he is knocked back. Tried to climb the mountain, and Robinson line met him head on and stopped him.
You can watch Sims. They worked hard on this play. Isolation play. Take it back to him deep in the backfield and leap as soon as he gets the ball tucked away and turn your shoulders. But he doesn't turn his shoulders. Therefore, Texas can throw him back, and he loses the force of his dive if he doesn't twist, Keith.
And so, time is called by Oklahoma with 12:25 to go in the first half of play. 4th down and a little bit less than a yard for a touchdown. The Sooners are leading by a score of 7-0. They've got an opportunity here to put more points on the scoreboard. Looks like they've decided they will try to go and push it in the end zone. It is 4th down for Oklahoma, just inside the Texas 1-yard line. Ball is just inside that 1-yard stripe there, about 2 feet away from the goal line. On 4th down, the Sooners will go for it. They want the touchdown. With Overstreet and Sims and Anderson behind Lott. Sims fumbled it. He fumbled the ball going over the top, but they're going to call it a touchdown, I do believe. Schultz was there hollering he had the ball, but they are of the opinion that he had it under possession when he penetrated the plane of the goal line, obviously because the official's hands went up.
Here he goes up in the air. Let's see. If he breaks that plane, it's a touchdown. He doesn't have to come down with the ball, Keith. Once he breaks that plane, it's 6 points. But a controversial call that's going to be.
I would say this, though. Our camera is not precisely on the plane. It was a little bit off at an angle, so you got to go with the way the officials saw it, and they were standing right astride of the goal line. The kick is up by Uli von Sherman. It is good. And so with 12:21 to go in the first half, it is now Oklahoma 14 and Texas nothing. And we've got something for the folks to talk about all winter long. So the Sooners exercise opportunity in recovering the Texas fumble taken in on 5 plays to 26. Here's another look at the touchdown as Sims goes up over the top.
He gets the ball deep in the backfield and leaps or hurdles. Now just watch the ball. He's trying to put the ball. He doesn't have to cross, Keith. If he puts the ball and breaks the plane, it's a touchdown. Oh, they'll be discussing that for a long time.
Well, the linesman didn't hesitate. He stepped right in there and threw both hands up and called it a touchdown. That's very obvious in the picture.
They won't take it off. You no use to argue and cry about it. They're not going to erase it. You might as well get ready and fight your guts back. And with Donnie Little, it looks like they're going to go with a freshman quarterback.
Jam Jones and Lamb Jones are deep, 24 and 26, and Von Schaumann will try to stand up and kick this one. He hasn't been successful yet, but this time he gets a hold of it. The Oklahoma crowd gives him a round of applause. It goes to Lamb Jones at the 2. Oh, look out! He's out to the 35-yard line. The Olympic sprinter was almost gone. A 33-yard return on it. Jay Jimerson saved the touchdown for Oklahoma. All right, Bill Fleming.
Well, Keith, even though Oklahoma's ahead 14-0, I just talked with a very disappointed Kenny King, the starting fullback of the Sooners. He has a hip pointer. Says he will not play anymore in the first half. Hopes to be back in the second, but it doesn't look good.
Thank you, Bill, and those things hurt. Very painful injury.
Very painful.
And sometimes hard to cure. King had 57 yards on 2 carries. One of them, that 55-yarder in the first possession, to set up the touchdown. First down for the Longhorns, 35-yard line. And the Oklahoma defense gets after and gets Johnny Little. That's Reggie Kinlaw making the first contact.
Keith, you cannot run east and west on a team that has as much speed as Oklahoma does without establishing something up the middle, and they've tried to go up the middle, but have had no success whatsoever.
Oklahoma leading by a score of 14-0 with 11 minutes and 45 seconds to play in the first half. Second down and just about 10 from the 35. 5-man front for the Sooners, and here comes Little to the outside. Johnny Little runs it past midfield, goes out of bounds at the Oklahoma 49-yard line. That's the first down. Mike Babb got him out. He gained 16.
Keith, watch it from the end zone. It's a busted play. The 2 halfbacks go to the right, and Little just, he probably changed the play at the line of scrimmage. He goes left, and both backs are going the other way. It wasn't a bootleg.
That's the first down of the ball game for Texas. Mike Lockett, good block for him. Jimerson shoved him out. It's at the Oklahoma 49. Little hands it to Ham Jones. He's got 2 yards. Reggie Kinlaw and his cohorts in the middle of the Oklahoma defense stifled the play. Again, another look at Big 62.
Reggie Kinlaw will be on the right shoulder of the center, so he's got an advantage because that's their formation. The guard goes to the linebacker, and therefore Reggie is unblocked and can go right out the line and make the play as he does.
Total yardage in the ball game, OU 183, Texas 43 so far in the game. Second down, 9 from the 48. Little wants to throw it. Mathis takes care of that as Reggie Mathis chased him out of bounds. He really had no one open to throw to.
It was a one-man pattern on Jones, and Oklahoma rotated their defense. Cornerback take him short, safety take him deep. Nothing there on a one-man pattern. All he could do was run the football.
Loss on the play of a couple of yards. Make it third down 11 from midfield now for Texas. The Sooners leading 14-0. Texas beat them last year 13-6. Take it, then probably turn it upfield, but never got it going as the feet went out from under him. And so again, we have evidence of ball players unable to get sufficient traction on the carpet with 10:41 to play in the first half. Texas will have to kick.
You can see the stats of how Oklahoma has dominated the game, and they are controlling the defense and offensive lines of scrimmage, and that's where games are won like this, in the trenches.
Sixth punt for Erxleben, averaging 38-2, with a win now at his back. Hangs it very high, and a fair catch is called by Basil Banks of Oklahoma just inside the 20-yard line. That was only a 35-yard kick by Erxleben. Time is out on the field. The Sooners have the ball. Back for the Sooners, Kenny King on the bench. He has a hip corner, and I'd be very surprised if Oklahoma leading now 14-0 unless it becomes a real close, touchy thing that Kenny King will be exposed to any more contact today. Hip corners are tough injuries. Just inside the 20-yard line now. First down for Oklahoma, and they send Anderson now, breaking the bone, send him in motion, and pop Sims up the middle, and Sims goes to the 29-yard line before Churchman leads the tackle for Texas.
Keith, we're going to have another look at the play. Sims, number 20, just a counter play. The quarterback reverse turns, and they get good movement. You can see, but when he runs out of blocking, look what he does. Look what he does with that ball. He just cuts to the right and twists and spurns 8 yards.
Worth looking down into the trenches, too, and seeing what Greg Roberts, number 65, did for him, and Louis Aubrey, 66. Handed off to Victor Ray Anderson. He's trying to dive for the first down, and he got a whole lot of contact from the folks in white shirts, but I think he may very well be there for the first down. Texas hollering the ball's loose, and we got it, and they have. Number 99, McMichael, was the fellow who had his hands on the ball, and it got loose, and underneath the stack, McMichael had it. Let's see now what happens.
Let's see what happens. Anderson's the ball carrier. They put it right in the pouch. He has it protected. He falls. Lance Taylor made the tackle. And the ball just squirms out there. Ooh, a little late whistle. It appears, anyway.
It does. Second fumble, big chance for Texas now. They own the ball at the Oklahoma 30-yard line. First down for the Horns. They trail by 14. They give it off to Leroy King. And King banging away. And the Sooners almost knocked that football loose. They're really jumping in on top of it. Mike Babb took the man down, and he had a hold of the ball as he went down. It's at the 21-yard line, a gain of 9, second down in the short yard coming up. Fish is out, Lockett is in. A change at the flanker position for Texas. Donnie Little is the quarterback for the Longhorns. Turns, gives the ball to King. King bangs right over right guard, behind the guard in the center, and he's got a Texas first down at the Oklahoma 18-yard line with Reggie Kinlaw and George Cumby making the tackle for the Sooners.
See, the momentum has changed, Steve. What a break like this will do for a team. And you can see the blocking by Texas has improved just because they have that momentum. They get a little bit more effort. And, of course, Oklahoma has a little bit less effort because of disappointment.
Yarborough and the center Hubert were the people that led that last play. First down near the 18-yard line. Little gives the ball to Ham Jones. Penalty flags flying from both sides of the field. Tabor was right there to deck Ham Jones. So let's check on the penalty. It looks like it might very well be against the Oklahoma Sooners. Offside, Oklahoma. ABC's NFL Monday Night Football. This week, the Cincinnati Bengals and the Miami Dolphins out of the Orange Bowl in Miami. Those are two teams that really need to get their act together if they're to have some success in this NFL football season. So join Frank, Don, and Howard. Of course, if we should get some bad weather in New York, the baseball game has to go 5 games between the Yankees and Royals. It might well be that Howard would stay with us on the baseball. We'll see what happens tonight in Yankee Stadium, New York. First down and 5 yards to go, just inside the 14-yard line of Oklahoma. Texas trying to exercise opportunity. Little trying to turn it up, gives it back to Ham Jones, and Ham Jones is brought down at the 14-yard line. Jimerson wasn't fooled at all, and neither was John Goodman, who had penetrated.
That was some defensive recovery because for a moment, Oklahoma defense disappeared. They had it sealed off. But when Little hesitated just a moment there when he got hit first, then the defense recovered and there was nothing there.
There are 2 freshmen up front on that Texas offensive line. We should note Joe Sheeran, the left guard, and Terry Tosh, the right tackle. 2 freshmen playing against Oklahoma in this game. Second down and 5. Little gives it to Ham Jones. He's maybe going to get credit to the 11-yard line as Tabor and Kinlaw stop him. They'll mark it right near the 11, where it's going to be third down for Texas now, and they've got to go inside the 9, close to the 8-yard line. So let's call it about 3+.
This is a tough call. They have not run but one real quick straight-ahead play, and they went out the back door for the big game on the first play of this series.
Lockett to the right side. Studdard to the tight end. And Lockett comes back the other way. And they call timeout. They're about to run out that clock and get nailed with a delay of game penalty. And so Lockett, realizing that there was a mix-up, called time with 7 minutes and 17 seconds left to play in the first half of the ball game. And the score, Oklahoma 14, Texas nothing. Each team now with 2 timeouts remaining. It is third down and a long 3 for Texas at the Oklahoma 11-yard line. The first real threat for Texas in the ball game. They go to the big guy, King. King gets it down close, and then he is knocked back. It just depends on where the linesman is going to give him. Cumbie and Kinlaw made the tackle. And the ball is sitting at the 8-yard line, and if it's put down on the 8, that will be enough, but they will ask for the change to make sure, because Texas real quick and Oklahoma as quick want those chains in to make sure. In this series, Texas leads it 43 wins, 26 for Oklahoma, and 3 ties, and it's first down, goal to goal for the Longhorns.
Keith, I was listening to Barry Switzer's show the other night, and since the war, they're exactly tied. That's what they claim, the modern generation. 46 on, they're tied in the number of victories.
Barry Switzer coaching Oklahoma, Freddie Akers coaching Texas, played together at Arkansas under Frank Roy. First and goal for the Longhorns. It's hands on. He wiggles, and he gets close to the 5. Barry on the sideline. Jones now has carried 12 times already. He's gained 27 yards. To give you some idea, prior to that play, on the per rush average, Texas was averaging 2.1 yards per carry, and Oklahoma 6.9.
Texas offensive line is getting very little movement. You've got to get some movement, give those backs a chance to run.
Let's call it the 6-yard line, a gain of 2, second down and goal to go. Little puts it up, throws for the corner, and it is incomplete, intended for Johnny Lamb Jones. Wasn't that bad a pass. It's just that the Oklahoma defensive man rode that receiver a little bit wider than he wanted to go.
He disrupted his pattern, we say. The cornerback is taught, if you watch it, the Oklahoma halfback, Banks, is supposed to keep him from going outside, and he does, and therefore Jones does not get deep enough to where the pattern should be for completion.
And so it is third down and goal to go for Texas. If they don't move it here, we might see Ertz later. Inside, I'll tell you, they're not going to get much real estate in the middle today, apparently, with Tabor 74, Kinlaw 62, and then right behind him, Cumbie 28, coming like a bolt of lightning. The ball is advanced to about the 4. Look at it from the ground.
Believe it or not, that's the strength of the defense. They maybe were trying to confuse them with a man in motion, but Oklahoma wasn't going to give them anything up the middle, and they just shut it off completely.
Time called by Texas, 5:52 to play in the first half of the ball game. The Sooners are leading by a score of 14-0. And now the Texas coaching staff and the players are trying to decide whether or not to go for 3 or try to take it on in with 72,032 looking on.
Keith, normally you would think that they would go for 3, but with the fact that their offense has had trouble moving, they may feel like that they got this chance to get 7. They better go after the 7. And then if they don't make it, they turn the ball off over on the 3 or 4 yard line. But against Oklahoma, that doesn't mean a darn thing. The 3 or 4 yard line. Normally against the average team, yes. But they still haven't fully decided. You can see the strategy meeting, and Oklahoma's waiting to call their defense after they see who they substitute and which direction they're going to go. This is a strategy game. You wait and see. I remember one time, Keith, against Texas, we lost a big game because I expected something, sent my defense in, called the defense, then Darrell substituted again, darn it now, and I couldn't get them back in. I couldn't get timeout called either.
Interesting that Cumbie came to the sideline, though, to check with the defensive coordinator for Oklahoma. And apparently it's up to George to call the defense as Texas comes up with the people and the set. They split the backs in the backfield. And they've got Lamb Jones wide to the right side. And a 6-man front with the 2 linebackers tucked in easy behind the Oklahoma front.
Taking a penalty, Pete. Just taking a penalty. Trying to draw them all sides. Bear Bryant's favorite play. But it has to be short yardage usually before that's very effective.
You also have got to stagger that count and do something a little bit different than you've been doing in the ball game. And I did not hear any stagger in the count. And so the 5 yards backs him up, and now that makes it relatively academic. Number 15's on the field for Texas, Russell Erxleben.
And it gives him a little bit better angle, probably, Keith. Up as close as it were on the left hash mark. Makes it like a side heel putt. You don't have as much hold to hit.
4 out of 5 in field goals for Russell this year. It's a 26-yard attempt. Trying to put Texas on the board in the ball game here in the first half. Snap's good. The hold is good. The kick is up. Looks good. All good. The Horns are on the board at 5:46 to play in the first half. Now Oklahoma 14 and Texas 3. I'm a great believer. But when you're down there, you've got to take what you can get. And if it's a guy like Erxleben sitting on your bench, you holler at him.
You've got to use it. You can't get that opportunity given to him by the turnover without getting something on the scoreboard.
4 o'clock this afternoon, you're going to be watching the Los Angeles Dodgers and the Philadelphia Phillies continue the National League Baseball Championship Series from Los Angeles. 2-1 Dodgers in that series. And tonight at 8 Eastern Time, you'll see the New York Yankees and the Kansas City Royals with Ron Guidry pitching for the Yankees and Dennis Leonard for Kansas City.
You're going to fly back in a private jet.
I'm going to be there in time for the first pitch, I hope. The deep men now for Oklahoma. As Erxleben will kick off for Freddie Nixon. And it's going to go to Nixon in the end zone. And Freddie isn't going to fiddle with it. He's about 4 yards deep in the end zone. He'd rather have the ball up on the 20. And so Oklahoma will get it there, first down.
Keith, Texas has kind of adjusted themselves to that slow-hitting offense that Oklahoma has used early. It'll be interesting to see if now Oklahoma has been using their curveball, comes back with their fastball with the speed that they've got, particularly Lott. He hasn't carried the ball, I don't believe, but 1 or 2 times, and he's been their leading ball carrier in most of the ball games last year.
We've got a new fullback in there now as Oklahoma breaks out of the huddle. It'll be Barry Joyner, number 42, a 217-pound sophomore out of Killeen, Texas. Send Sims out to the left side, and he's going to put it up. Going deep for the home run, and the pass is overthrown, and he had big Victor Hicks out there all by himself.
Keith, when they put them, we look at it again from the end zone, but they put a man in motion, and the safety man, Johnson, came over to pick up the man in motion in behind the cornerback and the tight end, 260 pounds. Watch him rumble down that field. Can you imagine anybody having a 260-pound tight end? There he is, and he was wide open, as you can see.
At least 10 yards in the clear. Of course, I imagine Johnson might have reacted a little bit that time because Sims got out there and beat him on a pass play earlier in this first half. 5:40 to play before halftime. It's Sims with the ball, squirts over the left side and gets it out to about the 22. Steve Massey, number 84, junior out of Pasadena. A tackle brought him down. Southern Methodist University. The Ponies are up at Columbus against the Buckeyes today, and look at that.
How about it? Oh, they've got a great offense. Ron Meyer has done an outstanding job in the 3 years that he's been at SMU.
Woody's Buckeyes playing Southwest Conference teams successively. Baylor get him a heck of a ball game at Columbus last week. Here's Lott with the ball. Turning the corner, and down he goes. Ricky Churchman is right there as Lott made his cut. Churchman pinned him, and now Oklahoma will have to punt on 4th down.
Ron Bones was the key on that play, Keith, because he penetrated so deep that on the key play, Lott had to give ground, and when he gave ground, Pursuit caught him, and then Churchman hit him and nailed him to the ground.
But Oklahoma took the first possession and took it in for a touchdown and then capitalized on a Texas fumble for a second touchdown. Darrell Ray, the punt, hits it into the wind, and a fair catch is called by Blackwood. And Texas gets the football first down at the Oklahoma 49-yard line, a 27-yard punt.
Now, as they come in with their freshman quarterback, Little, he should be kind of settled down a little bit, and he's a great athlete, and he has a chance to move him down that field.
Bill Fleming will have an interesting and enjoyable halftime for you. Run down all the scores that are in at this time from around the country, and there are some big ball games. There's one real big one out on the West Coast coming up later today between Stanford and UCLA. 49-yard line now, first down for Texas. Little on the option. Wanted to throw, I think, Oklahoma's defensive flow was very good, and the secondary play defensively was obviously pretty good because Little just simply didn't have any place to throw it.
You can see the pursuit of the 62 and Kinlow as he goes right out the line of scrimmage. It was a sprint out pass, no one open, and he has to eat the ball.
And Reggie Mathis, that defensive end, stayed at home, and he was right there where he was supposed to be on the play. The loss is back to the Texas 44-yard line, so it's 7-yard loss. Second down and 17 for the Longhorns. Little gives it away to King, the big back, and King is up to about the Texas 49, so they'll be looking at third down and 12.
Really don't know what to call with a freshman quarterback, Keith. You're afraid to throw a sophisticated pass because the judgment probably is not there, doesn't have the experience. So you're doing the basics, and the basics against Oklahoma ain't good enough normally.
No, sir. Clock running at 3:15 to go in the first half. The Sooners lead 14-3. Third down, 12. Texas at their own 49. Little outside the throws. King down the sideline. Gets to the Sooner 45. It'll bring up a fourth down, and I'm always a little bit hesitant to say a punt for Texas because with a guy like Erxleben and the wind at his back, you never know when he might go and jack it up. There's the halftime schedule. George Brett will be visiting with Dave Dials at our studio in New York, too. The young Kansas City third baseman who hit 3 successive home runs in losing calls last night against the Yankees. Erxleben will punt. He shoots it for the corner. Good ending. Out of bounds on the 9-yard line. A 36-yard punt, but in that instance, you don't worry about the distance. It's where he put it that amounts to everything. Out of bounds on the 9. 2:29 to play first half. Yes, indeed. We're in Texas, and it's on the 9-yard line. First down for the Sooners. 2:29 to play first half. Play goes into the middle. Penalty flags are down as David Overstreet carried the ball, number 22. Procedure call, Oklahoma. I take it.
Yes, sir. Back them up to the 5 and make them run the option play. If they pitch it, they're pitching it behind their own goal line.
Mark off 5. It'll put the ball back at the 4-yard line. Oklahoma first down and 15. Penalties now. OU with 2 for 10 and Texas with 2 for 10.
Even unusual statistic. Time of possession, Texas 16 minutes, Oklahoma 11. How deceiving can a game be?
Well, there's a difference, though, when you're hitting them at an average of 7 yards a carry versus 2.
Right.
First and 15 off the 4. Second man, Sims to the 10. 6 yards for Billy. It'll be second down and 9 coming. Johnny Johnson and Ricky Churchman, the weak safety and strong safety, made the tackle. In case you wonder, if sometimes you get lost in all of the vernacular of football, weak safety means that safety man plays the weak side of the offense. The strong safety goes to the unbalanced or strong side of the offense.
And the free safety against the wishbone or weak safety has to be involved in plays such as you just saw. He's got to make the play at the line of scrimmage if the ball is handed off, and yet play the pass if it's not.
And he's up to about the 13, maybe the 14 before Steve Massey brings him down for Texas. And the clock now is running. It's going to be third down for the Sooners. Ball is at the 14. Got to go to the 19, third and 5. Sims, 12 carries and 63 yards in the ball game now. He is the leading rusher in the game. Kimball goes in at the wide position for Oklahoma.
Oklahoma just wants to come out of this half 14-3.
Break the bone this time. Give it to the second man, Sims. Longhorns punish him and stop him just short of the first down. He got the football up to about the 18. He's about a yard short of it with Ron Bones and Ricky Churchman. Love that name.
Oh, I tell you, that's good football. That was good blocking, good running, and the defense closed the hole at the last minute. Just beautiful play on both offense and defensive part.
So with 57 seconds to play in the first half, Texas spends the timeout to save the time on that clock.
Bruce Schultz is the sophomore linebacker, number 51. He takes the fake of the fullback momentarily. Fullback ends up blocking. He comes right back out and helps in the tackle. And then the safety man and weak safety helps Johnny Johnson.
It'll be 4th down and 1 for the Sooners, and you know they're going to kick it out of there, leading by a score of 14-3. Oklahoma opened the game with tremendous intensity and just bang, bang, bang. They had 14 points on the board. That's Glenn Blackwood waiting to receive the punt from Oklahoma's Darrell Ray. But since that time, Texas has played them rather well.
They had, I think, adjusted their defense to the different offense, the unexpected offense of Oklahoma, but they used their last time out, Keith, to stop the clock, so they'll have at least 54, 55 seconds maybe to get some points on the scoreboard.
Ray's punted 4 times, 38-3 average, one of them from 50. He's going to be kicking into a light wind. There's no rush. He hits a knuckleball up the field. It takes an Oklahoma bounce right to Blackwood. And he's at the 41-yard line of Oklahoma. Clock stops, 47 seconds to play in the first half. If he'd had a little bit more room so that he could have juked that red shirt man over there, he might have gotten down the line. It was Steve Rhodes that pinned him.
We should mention that Johnny Johnston is one of the premier punt returners for Texas in America, but he has a slightly pulled muscle, and they are not using him, and that is hurting some of their offensive strategy from the defensive team.
Better passer is in at quarterback now for Texas, McEachern, senior out of Pasadena. They send Lamb Jones to the right side. McEachern back to throw. He goes over the middle for Lamb Jones, and it's intercepted by Darrell Ray. And Ray is going to bring it upfield for Oklahoma. It's go a long way. They mark him out of bounds at the Texas 36-yard line. McEachern came downfield and shoved him out. I'm not sure that Randy got him back at the 36, but he was about the last gasp defensively.
It's an old tip drill. Jones tips the ball, knocks it up in the air, and Darrell Ray catches it. He is an outstanding football player, a quarterback in high school from Killeen. He turns it on. You can see his running ability. It comes very close to scoring.
It was a quarterback that took him out with a block on him. Now, the pass was also poorly thrown.
It was overthrown. You can see that Jones has very little chance to catch it. This is Lamb Jones, the premier Olympic sprinter. He jumps and tries to hold it and catch it, but he deflects it, and that is what the coaches call the tip drill. Reaction by the defense instantly to the ball when it changes direction.
Now, Oklahoma's offensive philosophy may very well change right here with 33 seconds to play in a ball game, and they have the ball inside the Texas 36. Instead of just running out the clock and going to the clubhouse 14-3, they may look for another one. We'll see.
They're going after it, Keith. You can believe that. And if they don't get it, they'll try a field goal. But let me just say this, that Lott is a much improved passer, according to Barry Switzer. He's worked hard on it. He's a little bit deliberate, as you'll see, but he has improved his passing tremendously this summer.
He's got Kimball going deep. He's got Kimball wide open. He dropped the ball, got his feet tangled up, almost fell down, and having lost momentum in his stride, could not come up with it. But he had him dead wide open.
Keith, you can see how Texas challenges. Here it is, 30 seconds to go. He's playing him man for man. Hatchet number 3 is playing Kimball man for man, and you can see how badly he's defeated with only 27 seconds on the clock. You can see he tripped just a little bit, broke his stride, and the pass was right on target, really. Surprised that Texas would challenge with his coverage with 27 seconds on the clock.
Now it's Steve Rhodes wide out there, replacing Kimball. Pass goes to Rhodes. He's got it inside the 20-yard line. And now Oklahoma will call a timeout, I'm sure, to stop it. The clock stopped for just a moment to move the chains down with 20 seconds to go in the first half.
Here is Steve Rhodes from Dallas, Texas, highly recruited youngster. Hatchet tries to disrupt his pass pattern just as he turns inside. The ball is right there. Boy, that Lott threw it.
Sooners do not call a timeout. They're going to save it. The clock is running because it stopped to move the chains. They've still got a timeout to go. Lott wants to throw. Whoa! go. Ball's loose. Dwight Jefferson put the hit on him.
Would you believe the referee called it incomplete pass?
No.
No, he didn't.
Well,
No, he did. Just called it a fumble.
Yeah.
1 second on the clock. No, he did call it, Keith. I'm sorry. He called it incomplete pass. Let's look at it again. It's a bootleg, faking the backs, and actually Hicks was open for a touchdown. You can see that the Texas defender hits him. I guess it won't.
No, he dropped the ball, but did he bring it back? Was he in a throwing motion?
Well, he had it. You couldn't tell whether the ball came forward, whether his arm had started forward or not. That would be the deciding factor. If we had a side view of it, we could see.
Well, anyway, Uwe von Schamann is on the field, and he will try a field goal from the 25 plus 10 of the end zone. It'll be 35 yards for the field goal try with 1 tick remaining on the clock.
He has been under pressure before.
Oh, remember last year in the Oklahoma-Ohio State game, Ohio State crowd in Columbus is about to eat him alive, and he's walking around out there conducting. They're yelling, block that kick, and von Schamann is cool as anybody you've ever seen. But remember, twice on kickoffs, he slipped and almost fallen down. Let's see what he does with this 35-yard field goal try. Plenty of leg. It's good. And the gun sounds and the half is over. And that's what you call using opportunity. 17-3 halftime. Oklahoma leading Texas by 14. Now here's Bill Fleming.
Tied it with Coach Barry Switzer, and that's taking it right down to the bell, Coach.
Got to have it, and that helps us. I tell you what, we played pretty well. Texas is a good defensive football team, and we've been fortunate. We both had a couple turnovers that we were able to capitalize on, but we stopped ourselves one time with one. I tell you, Kenny King not playing hurt. Kenny King's a great player.
Right, that hit player.
He's out. He's through, and he's a great football player.
Now, do you expect in the second half they're going to throw a little more on you?
I think so. I think that they will, and we've got some things we can throw too. I think our coaches are.
Hey, listen, Victor Hicks almost had a big one.
We knew it was there. Tommy just missed him a little bit.
Okay, Coach, thanks for joining us. And we'll be talking with Fred Akers, the Longhorn coach, at the start of the second half. Well, we have both bands here today. We'll have the Fireman's Fund flashback, and we'll return here to Dallas, Texas, right after this message.
70-3 ball game halftime. Sooners have the lead over the Longhorns. This is how the scoring happened. Sims carried it 18 yards in the first quarter as the Sooners took it 77 yards in 5 plays. 55 of those yards a run by the injured fullback for Oklahoma, Kenny King, 7-0. Second quarter, Sims took it in again from 1 yard on a controversial play as he went over the top and dropped the ball, but he had penetrated the plane to the goal line. 14-0. The kick was good. Erxleben then a 26-yard field goal for Texas as the Longhorns had it first and goal at the 8, couldn't get in. And then with 1 second remaining, off the interception and long run by Darrell Ray, von Schamann put it through the uprights from 35 yards. That's where we are, 17-3 halftime, and here's Bill.
All right, thank you very much, Keith. You know, it was just a year ago that these two teams came into the Cotton Bowl with a very similar situation. Both were undefeated. Both had a chance for a national championship. And so in our Fireman's Fund flashback today, we're going to flash back to that game here in the Cotton Bowl 1 year ago between OU and UT. Today's Fireman's Fund flashback is brought to you by Fireman's Fund Insurance. And Fireman's Fund Insurance is brought to you by an independent agent near you. Now for the next moment, let's turn back the calendar. Not since 1970 had Texas defeated Oklahoma. The Sooners had won 5 games in a row before the 6-6 tie game in '76. This was a game the Longhorns really wanted to win. October 8, 1977, a warm and cloudy day, made even cloudier in the first quarter for Texas, with Oklahoma leading 3-0. The Longhorns starting quarterback, Mark McBath, was hurt on this play. He had to be helped from the field, and later it would be determined that he was lost for the season with a broken ankle. In the second period, the Horns' backup quarterback, Joe Awney, tore ligaments in his knee, and then he was out of action. Meanwhile, it was Russell Erxleben, who the previous week had broken an NCAA record with a 67-yard field goal against Rice, who drilled this one 64 yards to tie the game at 3-all. It was third-string quarterback Randy McEachern who was the ultimate hero. He coolly moved the Horns down the field, directing a great drive. And this drive was climaxed by one of the most spectacular runs in the series, a 24-yard gallop by the eventual Heisman Trophy winner, Earl Campbell. At halftime, it was Texas 10, Oklahoma 3, and everybody sensed an upset. In the third period, the Sooners got closer on a 32-yard field goal by Uwe von Schamann. And going into the final quarter, it was Texas 10, Oklahoma 6. And then, with 4 minutes and 10 seconds to play in the game, one of the most dramatic defensive efforts in this long series took place. The Longhorns, led by All-America tackle Brad Shearer, stopped the Sooners on the Texas 5-yard line on this 4th down play. And this was the final score.
Well, we've got the jitters in the first half and a lot of young football players out there, and hopefully we'll settle down. Because Oklahoma has a great football team, and you just can't make the errors we've made. And you got to get more points when you get an opportunity like we got.
Now, you were alternating quarterbacks. We're going to see that in the second half?
We're going to start with Donnie Little.
Okay, fine. Good luck. All right, Keith, that's the picture from down here on the field. Let's go back to you for the start of the second half.
Okay, Bill. At halftime, 28 carries. Oklahoma averaged 6.2 yards.
We've got the jitters in the first half and a lot of young football players out there, and hopefully we'll settle down. Because Oklahoma has a great football team, and you just can't make the errors we've made. And you got to get more points when you get an opportunity like we got.
Now, you were alternating quarterbacks. We're going to see that in the second half?
We're going to start with Donnie Little.
Okay, fine. Good luck. All right, Keith, that's the picture from down here on the field. Let's go back to you for the start of the second half.
Okay, Bill. At halftime, 28 carries. Oklahoma averaged 6.2 yards. Texas on 28 carries averaged 2.1 yards per carry. That's pretty much the story of the ball game. The big swing, I thought, Frank, in the first half was when Texas wasn't able to get into the touchdown when they had first and goal.
Score was 14-0. They got a fumble. They moved right down to the 5-yard line and couldn't get it in, settled for a field goal, and that kept Oklahoma up and somewhat demoralized the Texas football team.
Oklahoma will kick off. Uwe von Schamann hits it. Hooks it down to Jan Jones, and it's off Jones and beyond the end line, and it'll be first down. And 10 yards to go from the 20 for Texas. The first half stats read this way.
Well, you can see it's all Oklahoma. They had good movement with the offensive line. It's 225 yards to 62, and they were able to move down the field one time and control the game in the entire first half.
Texas now looking for a little more cohesion in the offensive front to give those pony-backs a little more room to run. And the question is whether or not they will throw. You wouldn't expect it with Donnie Little. He hands the ball off to Leroy King, the 215-pounder. Reggie Mathis, number 58, makes the tackle for Oklahoma. The gate is out to near the 24. Texas offensive backfield, Little, number 1, Leroy King, Ham Jones, and Ronnie Mish, alternating with Lockett at the flanker position. Lockett is in now. Offensive front lines up that way. Second down and a long 6. Little turns and hands it off. No deception. It's just man on man, and that's a contest I don't think Texas can win.
They can't because they're inexperienced in the offensive line. They have 2 freshmen, 1 guard and 1 tackle, and Oklahoma has a strong defensive football team, particularly their linebackers, who can diagnose that type of play and stop it.
Third down from the 27-yard line and 3. With Oklahoma's linebackers shown there, and the defensive secondary, Paul, Jimerson, Babb, and Ray. Out of the eye this time. Little wants to throw it, looks downfield, breaks it open, and he's got a Texas first down and then some. Fumbles the ball. Oklahoma's got it. Lazo Banks, cornerback, jumped on the loose football, and Reggie Kinlaw was back in pursuit, but I think he just flat turned it loose when he went down.
If he didn't protect it. On the replay, you can see that he's swinging the ball just a little bit. There it is, out on his elbow, down, and it came out even before he was hit, it looked like. Inexperienced, he'll learn to protect that ball when he gets in a crowd, particularly an Oklahoma crowd.
He had big gain out of it to the 41, coughed it up, Oklahoma gets it. And this is a very critical moment for Texas right here. If the Sooners jump on them with a touchdown here, look out. Ray Nixon out on the sidelines, and Nixon's feet slid out from under him as he made his cut. And by then, Thomas Lott had released the ball, and it was long gone. So it's 2nd down and 10 from the Texas 41 for the Sooners.
Keith, that was a pattern that you fear if you're on defense against the wishbone. You block the tight end, make it look like the inside ride play. Wingback slip out in the flat end deep, and he was open momentarily, but he couldn't get the ball.
Sooners come up on 2nd down and 10 with Kimball wide to the right this time. Lott rides it down on the option, turns it upfield, and he's brought down by Churchman as he takes it inside the 40 to near the 42. Number 80, Jefferson, getting up a little bit slow, having made a leg tackle on Thomas Lott. Lott is a big, tough guy. He's 5'11", 205, and he'll punish you.
He is a quarterback with strong legs on the wishbone, has a big advantage because they're always diving his legs on the option play.
Now we've got a timeout called by Oklahoma. The Sooners spend a timeout very early in the 3rd quarter of play with 12:57 to go in the 3rd quarter. Oklahoma calls time with the football just short of the Texas 36-yard line. Now, the Texas defense started out the ball game oftentimes offering a 7-man front with that quarterback coming up to play, and looks like they're going to try to play the same sort of a thing.
You can't fault the defense, Keith. The defense played, I think, adequately in the first half. They had their backs to the wall most of the first half, yet they stayed in and fought. If it hadn't been for the interception, they would have come out of the game 14-3 with the offense giving them field position most of the time. The Texas defense can play the wishbone, obviously. They're getting such penetration on the corner when Lott tries to go outside on the key play, his favorite play, that pursuit gets to him before he gets back to the line of scrimmage.
3rd down and 6. Lott's got it. Turns it upfield, crosses the 35 to the 34, where the Texans gang tackle him. Schultz and Churchman with Jefferson involved. And that's going to bring up 4th down, and here comes Uwe von Schumann onto the field carrying his kicking tee. And this will be a big one. It'll be outside the 40, call it 41-yard line. It'll be a 51-yard field goal. He's got a little breeze at his back. If he misses it, Texas will get the ball at the line of scrimmage or the 34. He's going to miss it, too. He hooked it low left. I'm not sure the snap was very good on it. Blackwood came in, and Glenn might have touched it, but I think it was somewhere between the holder and the kicker. So the kick goes awry.
Here it is from the end zone. The holder juggled the ball just a minute and made von Schumann pause, and then he didn't have his timing properly, and it was a bad kick.
And at 12:16 to go in the 3rd quarter, Texas gets the ball back now after having fumbled it away and held Oklahoma. So again, Frank, credence to the Texas defense for good play. Just inside the 34-yard line for the Horns. Little turns, and the halfback, Jones, hits in there and gets it up to the 37. So that's a better part of 3 yards for Ham Jones. And Kinlaw continues to play well for Oklahoma, number 62.
Teams have to double team Kinlaw. Here's Wes Hubert, the offensive center, who is an excellent football player, but he stifles him cold. That's what you want. Stop the offensive center's charge, and then he just releases to the ball carrier. Nothing there. That's just how good Kinlaw is.
At the 37, 2nd down and 7. Ham Jones trying to go outside. Oklahoma had it read well as Bruce Tatum, number 5 defensive end, and quarterback Jay Jimerson were both right there.
Bootleg reverse, misdirection, but he didn't fool Tatum or the right halfback Jimerson. They were there and made the play for no gain.
Well, Texas have been doing a lot of, they've sent out 3-4 guys, they've split this, they've motioned that, and all that kind of stuff, and all the Sooners have done defensive, just stand around and watch them and then make the tackle.
Yeah, if you're going to split people and don't throw to them, you're wasting them. They could be in blocking somebody.
Call it 3rd down, and still just about 7 yards for Texas. Little looking, throws it, Mish there, got it, 1st down at midfield. Holds on to the ball after a very hard hit, Ronnie Mish, a senior out of Needville, Texas, and Babb and Banks laid it on him, didn't they?
Yes, it's a roll pass to the left, the weak side end coming across the middle. You see Little have good poise and hits him right on target, right in the open spot where the linebacker had rushed. Here's Mitch, the wide receiver, going down, just turning into an open area. It's uncovered because the linebacker had rushed the passes.
Easy to remember for Ronnie tomorrow morning. He's been involved in a football game after a hit like that. Hands on, just over midfield to maybe the Oklahoma 49 before Darrell Hunt and Reggie Kinlaw there for the Sooners. Jones season average 4.3. Today, the Sooners have held him to 2.2, and there's Thomas Lott.
In his bandana.
He wears that underneath the helmet. More comfortable.
He said if he went to pro ball, the pro coach didn't want him to, he wouldn't wear it. A lot of controversy last spring after the Orange Bowl game, over his bandana. He didn't wear it in spring training, but came back in the fall.
Second down, 9. Ball just beyond midfield. Little, he's going to carry it all the way, and he gets down to the Oklahoma 47 and goes down under 17 Basil Banks. Reggie Mathis was the fellow who took the legs out from under him, though. And the clock is running at 9:40 to play in the third quarter.
Obviously, that was a run all the way. The end blocked, the halfback blocked, the flanker blocked, and it was just try to get Little, who may be the best ball carrier, outside.
In turnovers so far in the ball game, Texas with 3 and OU with 2 now, and the ball is at the Oklahoma 47, where it is third down and 7. Little looking, gets it off, and it is intercepted by Darrell Hunt. Penalty flag thrown. We might very well have a little pass interference down there. Johnny Goodman was after the quarterback Little and had a hold of him when he delivered the ball.
Well, Keith, that's going to be a tough call because 67 was downfield. It was supposed to be a screen pass, and therefore the 67, their guard, could be downfield blocking. But when he threw the ball downfield, then it made an illegal alignment down beyond the line of scrimmage and maybe offsetting penalties.
Well, it's interference against Texas on the attempt to catch the ball by Darrell Hunt.
Let's see if we can't see number 67, Jim Yarbrough, downfield. It was a screen pass. As you can see, 67 goes on downfield, expecting the ball to be thrown downfield, and he's actually blocking Hunt, which, of course, is pass interference by lineman. I don't think I've ever heard that before. But a new rule, that's possible.
That's the 4th turnover, then, for the University of Texas Longhorns. The football is marked out near the Oklahoma 48. Sooners have the ball back, leading by a score of 17-3. Big news going on in Columbus, Ohio. We're going to check that in a moment with Bill Fleming. Right now, it's first down Sooners. And it's Billy Sims, 2 blocks in front of him. And he's down to the Texas 48-yard line. Bill?
All right, there is big news in Columbus, Ohio. You're right. The Mustangs of SMU are leading Ohio State 21-14. Mike Ford has just scored for SMU, and then, to add insult to injury, he passed to Shelton for a 2-point conversion. And how about this game in Ann Arbor? Arizona leading third-ranked Michigan 17-14. That game is now at halftime.
My goodness.
College football.
Second down and 6 yards to go from the Texas 48. Give it to the fullback. The up man out of the wishbone formation, and Joyner, Barry Joyner, runs into Lance Taylor, and he moved it down to about the 46. This program, a special exclusive presentation of ABC Sports. Let's pause 5 seconds to allow our local stations to identify themselves.
This is Channel 8, KTUL-TV in Tulsa.
At 8:15 to go, third quarter. Sooners have the ball at the Texas 46. Got to go near the 42 for the first down. Sims. I never will forget the quote that Barry Switzer gave me about this number 20. He said, that kid thinks he can fly, and there's a perfect example of it. He was just trying to get up there and walk on air and get his first down. He's very close to it. While we're waiting for it, let's check in with Bill Fleming for just a moment. Now, watch this play first, though, before we go to Bill.
Look at him leap for the first down. That's the twist and turn where you get, look, watch him just keep twisting. That is what you're taught to do when you leap.
Bill, I bet you can do that.
I'll bet on that.
Well, I think we have just a moment here, Keith. After Michigan State went out in front of Notre Dame 3-0, the Irish have come roaring back, and they've scored 22 consecutive points. And now Michigan State has gotten another one, so it's now 22-6, and there's 1:18 to go in the first half of that game.
It looks Looks like the Irish are gearing up to get ready for Pittsburgh next Saturday. There's some of the power of the offensive front for Oklahoma as Joyner. They didn't try to fool anybody on that one. They just sent him ahead.
Turned and hand the ball deep, blocked the tackle down, pulled the guard around for the linebacker, and gave him some running room.
Plenty of size up front. Hicks is 254. You got Oubre 250, Tabor at 242, Farthing 250, Roberts 238, Clapton 270. Second down. And 6. Again, not a whole lot of foolishness on it. Just give it to Billy Sims, and the big guys up front open a hole, and he's down near the Texas 30-yard line for a first down. Robin Sinline made the tackle for Texas.
Watch him explode, Keith. He is an incredible football player. No wonder he could make over 7,000 yards in high school. That's just a great run, even though it's just 8 yards.
Rushing now, Oklahoma with 204 yards and Texas with 86 in the ball game. First down for the Sooners from the 31-yard line. And again, they're carving up the middle of the Texas defensive front as Barry Joyner rams in and goes to about the 25. That'll be 6 yards.
Darrell Royal would like this particular drive. It's right at him. First down, get 4 or 5 yards, and then you have easy time making the first down, and they made 6 on that particular.
Plus the fact that when you can get that much yardage off your first down play and continue to grind it out, you are also using time.
And demoralizing that defense.
And Billy Sims this time gets a little better hit on him as he comes to the line of scrimmage, moves from the 25 down to about the 22. And here's Bill.
All right, a couple of key conference games going on today. First of all, in the Big 8, Nebraska with Tom Sorley going over from the 1-yard line, leading Iowa State 6-0. And in the Southwest Conference, Texas Tech has taken a 6-0 lead on a couple of Bill Adams field goals over Texas A&M.
Those Aggies have been running all over them.
And they are a great football team.
Third down, about 2 yards to go. They go to Sims. He don't go. He does not get it. They hit him and had him pinned, and Jefferson couldn't hold him. He slid off him and wiggled around in the stack, and by golly, he's made it pretty close.
Give Texas credit on that particular play. They had everybody come in through every gap on the right side, expecting Sims to jump, and he never got close enough to jump, Keith.
He's a yard short. Fourth down coming up. Rhodes is coming in, bringing a play. They're not apparently going to go for the field goal. They've called time now. Thomas Lott coming to the sidelines to talk. Oklahoma with 1 timeout remaining in the ball game. 5:21 to play third quarter, but they lead 17-3. You can see that Billy Sims has almost gained as many yards on the ground as the whole Texas team with 5:21 to play in the third quarter. And here come the Sooners, 4th down and 1 from the Texas 22. They're going for it. Watt upfield inside the 20. First down, Oklahoma inside the 18-yard line of Texas. Well, that's the confidence they have in their offensive front. There was not a whole lot of deception. They did fake the ball off to Sims into the middle to try to freeze the linebacker, and big Thomas Lott just rolled on around the corner.
Here's Texas defense. Bruce Schultz, the linebacker, is blocked, but it was a counter fake, an option play, and he comes back out and gets a hold of Lott, but you see his powerful legs and makes the first down.
Lott stumbling, pitches it out, ball is loose, out of bounds. Oklahoma keeps it. Ricky Churchman came flying in and got involved with Thomas Lott before Thomas could deliver the pitch out. And in the meantime, the ball was never under control and went on out of bounds, and the Sooners will keep it. There will, however, be a loss on the play of about 1.5 yards at the point where it went out of bounds. It's just short of the 19-yard line. Second down, 11.5. Temperature probably getting quite warm down on the artificial surface. We started about middle 60 temperature, but it must be up in the low 70s now, and probably add another 15, 20 degrees down on the field. And there's a whistle, and guess what? The buzzer went off on the back judge's wrist. Too much time, it'll cost him 5. That's 15 yards in penalty now. 3 calls against him for the Sooners. Texas, 2 penalties and 10 yards.
It will be interesting to see if Texas still plays their man-for-man pass defense on Oklahoma, even though it'll be second down and about 16 or 17 yards to go, as they did right before the half.
Second down and close to 17 yards to go for the first down. The football is sitting back at the 24. Kimball, touchdown.
Keith, it's a bootleg, but Hatchett is playing Kimball man for man. He comes in and back out, and he's in behind him for the touchdown. You can see Hatchett is just giving up, trying to get back to the best he could.
No question but what the Sooners are picking on Derek Hatchett, because their success has come in his neighborhood. As Von Schumann comes on for the extra point try, and it is good. 4-4-6 to play in the third quarter. It's now Oklahoma 24, Texas 3, and they're not hurting their top national ranking a bit.
If the fans watch a man-for-man coverage, Hatchett is covered him real close, and he lets him get behind him. He's got to retreat a little bit and give him a little bit of a cushion, but he gave him no cushion, so it's wide open touchdown.
And so it's Oklahoma 24, Texas 3. Giving us that picture of downtown Dallas, Texas, one of the world's more dramatic cities. It took them 4 days to get out here from Los Angeles, 1,700 miles, so that they could work with us this afternoon in bringing you the Oklahoma-Texas football game. And Uwe von Stroman kicks off after Oklahoma goes 53 yards in 11 plays. And Jam Jones is going to come out with it. Oh, look at this. The freshman from Youngstown, Ohio, showing his heels. Von Schumann and Darrell Ray finally got him out of bounds.
When you see the return from the end zone, notice how Jones starts right up the middle, and all of the defense converge on him. Then he has the speed to break outside. Here it is, right up the middle where the blocking was. Everybody converges inside, and then he outruns them to the boundaries.
He's quick.
That's a good back when he has the speed to do that.
49-yard return, 3 yards deep in the end zone. Mike Berry is coming off the field for Oklahoma, having been shaken up, and there he is involved in the tackle. Mike, shaken up, has come off the field for the Sooners. It is first down Texas at their own 46-yard line. There's Mike. 4:37 to play, third quarter. Little is the quarterback. Delivers it to King, and King is across midfield and dropped at the Oklahoma 48-yard line. Basil Banks, number 17, on the stop. Looks like George Cumby also shaken up. George was at the periphery of that tackle, and as they came tumbling down, he might have taken a shot. Cumby is shaken up. Time is out on the field for him. And Texas now trying to get something going against Oklahoma as the Sooners lead in this football game in the Cotton Bowl by a score of 24-3.
And I press this button.
And walked off the field by himself, so he's going to be all right. This is what happened to him. You see him coming in there underneath Big King, and he just got squished. He'll be all right. Second down and 5 for the Longhorns at the Oklahoma 49-yard line. Little, look out, Mathis is after him, got him. Reggie Mathis, great pursuit from his defensive end position, drops the Texas quarterback on the Longhorn 49.
Let's watch it from the end zone. It's a reverse option where it's a delay. Watch Little step to the right, and that gives Mathis coming from the right of your picture time to catch him from behind, because he's got to pitch the ball, and he's watching his key, and he doesn't know that he's coming right from behind him. Good play by Mathis.
Cumby is back in at the linebacking position now. Barrett Dittman had come in to replace him, but George is back. He's all right. 49-yard line of Texas, third down at 8. Cole takes a long time to make up his mind. Now it's too late. He dives for his first down, and he's close. Had to get in there just about the 44, and I don't think he's going to be quite all the way there. They've marked the ball just beyond the 45, and he's going to be just a little bit short of a yard short of the first down. Pittsburgh beating Boston College 19-7 at halftime. The Panthers looking ahead to Notre Dame next week. Nebraska and Iowa State. I'll tell you, those Huskers woke up last week, went up 69 points against a pretty good Indiana football team.
Surprised everybody. Of course, Tom has a chance. When he gets his offense going, he can turn it on. They got a good offensive football.
Irish are leading Michigan State 22-6. Ball game that started kind of slow, and that's the one that's got a lot of people around this neck of the woods talking, because SMU is located on Mockingbird Lane right here in Dallas, and it's 21-14. Lehigh beating Delaware 17-10. That'll get a wince out of Davy Nelson, I'm sure. Brown, which has had its troubles this year, coming back against Princeton 17-13 third quarter. Colgate and Harvard 17-7 Harvard. Been a lean year after such a great season last year for Colgate. They're having a little trouble this year. Carmen Koza's Yale Bulldogs, the Elis, have been tough on everybody. It's been hard to score on them. That's 14 points by Rutgers. I think the most anybody scored on them.
Carmen's a great coach. He's done a magnificent job at Yale.
Nice fellow. Ball is just inside the 45-yard line. 4th down and a half a yard, and Texas obviously has got to go for it. They're down 24-3. They're 0 for 9 on 3rd down conversions. Let's see what they can do on 4th down. Give it a big Leroy King, and he's got their first down at the Oklahoma 39-yard line. That little cheerleader you were looking at there just a moment ago, she led the Texas team out of the tunnel. She came down the field, and I don't know what you call those things. She's flying through the air, pinwheels or whatever they are.
Cartwheels.
Cartwheels. She must have done a dozen. Pretty good athlete, I'd say, to be able to do that. 39-yard line, 1st down. Goes to King again, and King fighting. That ball sticking out there a little bit loose and available for some big Oklahoman to come along and take it away from him, but he keeps it. Oklahoma going to the blackboard here.
I really don't know what they got to be worried about with the Texas offense, because they had shown but a few basic plays. Maybe they'll loosen up a little bit and run a more varied offense.
Ish is wide to the right now for Texas. Lamb Jones to the boundary side. It's 2nd down and 8 for Texas. A little back looking for somebody to throw it to. He's going to the corner for Lamb Jones. No, Darrell Ray way up over the top. Knocks the ball away. Ray had a interception which set up the field goal by Oklahoma at the close of the first half.
Ray was a quarterback in high school. I think I said earlier on the show. He's playing deep safety. He's dropping back and playing the football, and when he sees a little aim it to the left, he breaks right over and jumps. He's 6'2". Boy, he jumped 5 feet, I believe. What a play.
Tabor was hunting the quarterback that time. And I'm not sure but what Big Phil didn't get a piece of it. Little back to throw again. Throws it. Mish out of bounds at the just inside the 25, and that'll be a 1st down for Texas. Well, there's one thing, that he's pretty dangerous when he gets wandering around out there. So Mish goes down and then comes back to help the quarterback out and gets the ball.
Of course, Mitch was running a basic out pattern. Now he's curling to the inside, and then he breaks for an open area. He's a senior and a very good receiver. Watch him hold his hand up. He's in that open area between the cornerback and the safety, and Little lets him have it. 1st down.
Just inside the 25 for Texas with 2:09 to play in the 3rd quarter. Texas again mixed up in their formation. They're going to have to waste a timeout. So now Texas has 1 timeout remaining in the ball game, and they desperately needed to save their timeout. Oklahoma has 1 remaining at 2:09 to go in the 3rd quarter. ABC's NFL Monday Night Football this week. The Cincinnati Bengals and the Miami Dolphins on the Orange Bowl in Miami. These are 2 teams that got to get it together. Delvin Williams has been a big story for Miami this year, and Archie Griffin, of course.
On the rise.
Well,
the new coach, Keith.
That's right. Homer Rice has taken over as coach of the Bengals, replacing Bill Johnson. Homer, North Carolina, then came down to Rice.
Rice, the university.
Yeah, Rice University. Went to the pro leagues, and all of a sudden, bang, there he is, the head man. Checking in on other scores out of the northeastern part of the country as the day wears on. This game starting around the noon hour with New Hampshire and Connecticut. They've got a good one going in the third quarter up there. Syracuse. Well, look at this. They're getting, after having lost their quarterback early in the season, they're getting a very slow start. The Orange Men got it together today against West Virginia. And Richmond leading Villanova by a touchdown. It is first down Texas at the Oklahoma 25. Reverse, Lamb Jones. He's gone. Touchdown, Texas. Where's that play been?
Oh, boy. The better the defensive football team, the more successful a reverse is likely to be, and it was on that occasion.
When that rascal gets a little bit of open ground to run, forget it. The kick by Erxleben is good. And so the Longhorns now put 10 points up on the board, and that one's worth looking at a couple of times.
Watch it from the end zone. It's a down-the-line option. The fake off. Jones is a flanker coming back. Mathis has him contained, Keith, but he turns back inside of him. Look at the gaping hole. Here's Mathis down on the right corner. And here he goes. And when he goes against the grain, watch out.
A little closer look at Lamb Jones.
Jones, he'll fake down the field, but the pursuit is chasing the quarterback little, and he reaches up and grabs it, turns inside the contain of Oklahoma, trailing for the reverse, and then back against the grain. Picks them up high.
That's the longest gain of the day for the Texas Longhorns. And Johnny from Lampasas has a cool drink. 54 yards, 8 plays. And it's a 24-10 ball game as Erxleben kicks off. And it's going to go out of bounds. And he'll come back and do it again. Well, we were billboarding these two kickers today as being the best in their trade, or among the best, and neither one of them really has done very well off the kicking tee.
Cotton Bowl is a tough place for a kicker, Chief. We've been here many times, and that wind swirls right out of that tunnel, and it interferes with you drop on the punt a lot. I know that.
All right, while they're regrouping for the kickoff, let's check in with Bill Fleming.
Just a quick update, Keith, on the A&M and Tech game. When we last reported it, Tech was out in front, but as you can see, A&M got a touchdown by David Brothers and a 64-yard run by Mike Mosley, and now the Aggies are leading it 14-6.
You know that David Brothers played in the same backfield with Russell Erxleben down at Seguin High School, and Brothers did the place kicking in high school. Erxleben was the quarterback. Russell did the punting. That time he got all of it. Kelly Phelps. And he's out to the 22-yard line before he's brought down, and there the Sooners are going to go to work, leading by 14 with 1:58 to play. Now Texas defense got to muscle up here and try to contain the Sooners and give the offense the ball again, because I'm sure the Texas offensive people have got to take a little heart after that last play.
Listen to the crowd come alive, Keith. Boy, if that won't fire up the Texas team.
There's been a fair-sized debate in the Kansas City area, as Freddie Patek openly expressed the other day some disappointment at the support of the Kansas City baseball fans because it's a quiet crowd. And I guess they're after Freddie, but I'll tell you, there is nothing in the world like a crowd to crank you up. But also a thing called manpower helps, too. Like Barry Joyner blowing it over the right side and breaking a big play.
Good blocking by the right side of the Oklahoma offensive line. Greg Roberts is an All-American candidate. People say he'd be the #1, the pros say he'd be the #1 draft pick probably next fall for next year.
13-yard gain up near the 35-yard line. First down for the Sooners now, and Kimball comes to the left side. Thomas Locke, the quarterback. Overstreet, and Overstreet rolls over the 40-yard line. Again, they get big yardage on that first down play.
That's the key to the wishbone. Make 4 to 6 to 7 yards on first down, and you're going to keep the chains moving, keep the ball away from the offense, get field position, and maybe get some points on the scoreboard.
We're winding down toward the end of quarter number 3. Second down. That time, the Texas defensive people were right place, right time. Bill Acker, number 53. Acker had a tremendous football game at Texas Tech, but he's been wobbling around with a sore foot.
Keith, watch the blocking. The guard's going to step around, and Acker penetrates across the line before the tackle could block down on him, and he's in the backfield. Brad Sherrod did that so many times last year that Oklahoma would not attempt that type of blocking.
So the loss puts it back at the 39, just inside the 39, and it's third down and about 7. Thomas Lott looking. He's looking for Kimball, and he can't get to him. And that time, Hatchett did a good job, as Hatchett kept his hands off of that wide receiver coming down, but held his position physically and played it well. Garrett's got to be a little sensitive after the way the Sooners have been picking on him.
Well, he gave a little ground. He didn't try to challenge him at the line of scrimmage and let him run by him. He played him man for man, and he didn't take his fake until he broke back outside and he covered him.
Johnny Johnson now goes deep for Texas. That's the first time he's gone deep, and he is an outstanding punt returner. Darrell Way to kick for the Sooners on 4th and 7. Pressure on him. The kick is away. Johnson will fool with it. It's going to put Texas in a hole. Down at the 14-yard line. Johnson looked up at it, saw that he really didn't have any reasonable opportunity to handle the ball, let it go. It was a 47-yard punt with the roll, and it's going to be marked back at about the 13-yard line.
Johnny Johnson has fumbled 2 punts this year, Keith, and I'm sure that he has a little bit of doubt in his mind in this big ball game, and he should have fair caught the ball and saved about 15 yards. Texas is going to have to hurry to get a 5-yard penalty for delay.
Would you like to package up some of the energy that's being spent around here? That's Lamb Jones, who scored the touchdown on the reverse, trying to get to the outside, couldn't do it. Mike Babb made the stop for Oklahoma. Bill Tabor just missed him. And the third quarter is over here at the Cotton Bowl in Dallas. And after 45 minutes of good old-fashioned country football, it's Oklahoma 24, Texas 10.
They do everything different in Texas.
I reckon that might be true. Ball is at the 15-yard line now. Second down and 8 for the Longhorns as we start the 4th quarter of play. And Little's outside. Throw. Lockett. Skitters out of bounds up just near the 30, and they wave it off. No good. Didn't get a foot down. Third quarter stats. Texas 7 punts coming into the third period. Didn't have to punt. Going into the 4th quarter for the first time on the day, Longhorns getting a little offensive movement. And then they broke that big play, 25-yard reverse play with Lamb Jones, and they've moved him now to the running back position to utilize his speed. He's going wide to the right. Dump it off to him. Get him out there one-on-one. The only problem is it didn't turn out to be one-on-one. It was like 5-1 as the Sooners covered the play very well.
Good reaction by the Sooner linebackers. They have such blinding speed that when you toss the ball out in the flat, they can recover and gather in and throw him to the ground as he did there.
And so it doesn't work for the first down. It'll bring up 4th down and a punt, and those are the numbers that have been so hard to find.
Well, Texas is still way behind. 309 total yardage to 159. 4 turnovers to 2 for Oklahoma. Very low consistency in the Texas offense.
Burkslavin to kick it. Spins it up there, and a fair catch call by Darrell Ray, and Darrell has to fall ahead to get a handle on it, and falls ahead to the Oklahoma 41-yard line. It was a 39-yard punt. Well, things are not going well for the Longhorns today, including Russell.
Well, that song right there, Texas Fight, will fire you up. I used to hate to hear it because I knew that Texas was doing some good. Hear it?
Roach comes wide to the right now for the Sooners. Thomas Lott gives it inside to the fullback, and Barry Joyner takes it for a good solid gain, and again a big gain on first down. He's up to the 49-yard line for almost 8 yards. Lance Taylor, the tackle. Joyner is playing fullback and has much of the second half. Kenny King got a hip pointer and early in the ball game was taken out, and Barry said at halftime he wouldn't play anymore. Mickey Ray Anderson then came in, and we haven't seen him for several offensive possessions. It's Billy Sims diving for the first down over the left side. He gets to the Texas 49. He's going to be short of his first down with Schultz and Sims stacking him up.
Keith McMichael, his left defensive tackle, has been blocked fairly readily today, but he's been playing with a hamstring, and Acker, when they run over behind the left offensive guard at Bill Acker, he has been able to stack him up and control the block most of the time.
In the final quarter, time wearing along, definitely the ally of Oklahoma now. Third down and a yard. Fullback dives in there, and I don't believe the young man made it. Barry Joyner trying to jam it ahead for a yard, and the Texas defense stacked on him and got him.
New rookie in there, number 77, Kenny Sims, who they think is going to be a great player, 260 pounds, has replaced McMichael because of his injury. He's made the play.
And it will be fourth down and a yard. And Darrell Ray comes onto the field to do the punting. He's kicked it 6 times today, just under 40-yard average. Glenn Blackwood is deep for Texas. Oh, that's a dandy kick. Way good hang time on it. Blackwood is forced to call fair catch back at the 13-yard line. So Texas has the ball, but they have poor field position, trailing by 14 points in the ball game.
An SMU score. The Buckeyes have scored on a blocked punt. It was picked up by Al Washington. He took it in from 2 yards out. It was blocked by Sean Epitropoulos. How about that name? But Yanakiewski missed the extra point. Pony's still in the lead, Keith.
And Texas trying to get it going from the 13-yard line. Throws it out there. The pass is incomplete to Johnny Lamb Jones from Lampasas, Texas. He had it on the numbers, but he was looking upfield trying to find a crack in all of those red shirts that had come visiting out there.
Took his eyes off of it, and he did it, he missed it. Of course, he's looking right into the sun, too, Keith, and that is a problem on that type of pass.
The quarterback might have had a little too much on the ball, too, because he had John Goodman, that big 230-pound tackle for Oklahoma, hanging all over him. Second down and 10. No, sir. Reggie Mathis takes the legs out from under the quarterback down a little up at the 14-yard line. Give him a yard, and it's going to be third down and 9. That Mathis played a good football game.
He's a good football player. The coach, he's a former quarterback in high school, and he has good quickness, and he knows what to expect, and he has not been fooled on any play so far today.
Comes from Chattanooga, Tennessee. Look out. He's in there. Little's going to put it up. He's got a man. He hits the tight end, and he can't hold it. Les Studdard, number 92, big sophomore tight end. Could not hang on to it. And with 11 and a half minutes to play in the game, Texas will have to punt again.
Now the Oklahoma crowd has picked up. Listen to him.
I'm surprised they've got anything left after last night.
I didn't leave the hotel.
I had to. I got here kind of late. I couldn't get through downtown Dallas. I had to circle the city. Kick is away, and it's high and hanging, and it's going to be Oklahoma's ball at the 44-yard line. Freddie Nixon made the catch. That was a 42-yard hanging punt. 11:23 to play. It's the custom here in Dallas on the night before the OU-Texas game. They just block off Commerce Street in downtown Dallas, and everybody goes down and has a good time. And
would you believe, Keith, they had one-way sidewalks?
yes, sir, I'd believe that.
People going one way, they wouldn't let them come the other way. Police directed them that way.
Overstreet comes wide to the right side. Here's the pitch back to Sims. Oh, he's something. Johnny Johnson finally knocked him out.
Keith, there's no way you can describe what type of run that is. You've got to see it. He shouldn't have made anything. Here he is right at the line of scrimmage. First, one man misses him. The second one misses him. He keeps going, spins, and dives for extra yardage. What a player.
Ball is near the Texas 36. First down, Sooners. Fullback Joyner. Not a whole lot. Bill Acker's right there. 250-pounder out of Freer, Texas. 11 minutes to play in a ball game. Captain Nick Nicolari, Billy Sullivan, offering the picture from up in the Texas sky that's light blue, very thin clouds. Saw the sun come up this morning. I believe that's the first time I've ever seen it come up over Dallas, and I don't know if I ever want to see it again. Second down and 9. Lott with it. And Thomas runs into 51 Bruce Schultz. And goes down in a heap at about the 44-yard line.
That was a wishbone play, Keith, and Barry Switzer says it all.
May have been
can't run the
expensive,
wishbone.
too. May have been expensive. Lots down.
Uh-oh.
They're working on Thomas Lott right now. I hope he is not hurt because he is a tremendous football player. Time is out on the field for the injured player. 10:25 to play in the ball game. Oklahoma moving it again, leading by a score of 24-10.
Most almost schools to stay back out. You got a safety man inside, and Hatchett takes the fake completion.
And it's first and goal to go inside the 2-yard line. Sims dives and doesn't get there. Bill Acker, number 53, primarily responsible for Sims not flying into the end zone.
They have scored so many times on that particular play that Texas had their football team lined up there, and wisely so.
Billy's already scored 2 touchdowns today. Scored the first one of the ball game from 18 yards, then took it in from 1 yard in the second quarter. Double tight end alignment for Oklahoma. Near the 1-yard line, it is Overstreet. Whoa, he lost something, I think. Texas really stacked that one up, and Acker again is right in the middle of them.
He's been outstanding all day.
Rhodes apparently shaken up himself after making that catch. He bounced about 3 feet in the air after he made the grab, but he hung on, and it appears that Steve is hurting some as they take the pads off.
It's his shoulder, Keith. When you land on your elbow, sometimes it's a separated shoulder.
Let's hope to goodness that's not the case. 4 minutes to play. Oklahoma threatening, leading by 14. There is a final on the Clemson-Virginia Tech game that is now complete. And Charlie Pell's Tigers unwinding things after a stagger against Georgia, beating Virginia Tech today 38-7. And we welcome that audience to the Cotton Bowl in Texas. Oklahoma's trying to get a touchdown, and David Overstreet takes it in and scores. And Oklahoma has built its lead over Texas to 30-10. And there was a tremendous block thrown that time by Billy Sims, the halfback that's been the running star of the ball game, leading his buddy Overstreet into the end zone.
Keith, what good backs do, they want to play just as good without the ball. This is the option play, and he has to pitch it real quick. Takes the fullback and pitch it back. But the backs, when they get in that film, and you can see number 20 knocked him out as Overstreet goes on in. But when you go in the huddle, or go in there and look at the film the next day, you get your grade how you played when you didn't have the ball, and that's what they take pride in, and Sims is one of the best.
Uwe von Schaumann now comes in for the extra point try. Keith Jackson along with Frank Broyles and Bill Fleming from the Cotton Bowl in Texas. Oklahoma has pretty well dominated this football game from the opening possession, which they took in for the first score. Von Schaumann hits it. It is good. And with 3:55 to play, the score now is Oklahoma 31 and Texas 10. Off now for Oklahoma, 31-10. Sooners lead in the ball game, 37 yards, 9 plays. Von Schaumann now with 97 extra points in a row, but he sure hasn't done much kicking off today. He hit a little chip shot up in the air, and number 14, Rudy Izzard, settled under it to make the catch, and Texas has it up on the 32. One more look at that touchdown run by David Overstreet for Oklahoma.
Texas was penetrating into the backfield, and they forced Watts, the quarterback, to pitch it very quickly, as you can see. And then you see Sims, number 20, block the Texas halfback out. Street turns inside of him and dives for the goal line.
Ball is just short of the 32-yard line of Texas. Johnny Little, the quarterback, wants to throw. But, it's obvious. First sack of the ball game on him. Previously, he'd been able to get it away. This time, he could not. Let's check in with Bill Fleming.
All right, with 13 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, Vegas Ferguson has scored for the Irish of Notre Dame on a 12-yard run. And so Notre Dame now has built the lead 29-13 over the Spartans of Michigan State.
And it won't be long until we'll have the National League Baseball Championship Series between the Los Angeles Dodgers and the Philadelphia Phillies getting underway, being played in Los Angeles. Dodgers leading 2-1. That's coming up right after the ball game. It is second down. And they need 16 yards for the first down, and they're not going to get it going that direction. Reggie Mathis right there again.
Boy, he ran into a stone wall. Oklahoma's defense are fired up. Not going to let them have anything.
The clock is running at 2:50 to play in the ball game. So for the 8th time in this long series, Oklahoma is going to beat an undefeated Texas team in their annual and go rolling right along. Third down and about 15, and Little's outside. George Cumbie grabs him by the hind leg and drags him down at the 30-yard line.
Where speed at the linebacker position is a big plus for the defense.
Fourth down now, and the Longhorns regrouping their forces. And Ertzleben comes on the field. Today's Texas-Oklahoma game has been brought to you by Kodak, whose new line of extra pocket cameras can help you take more pictures, more places, more often. Extra, the can-do cameras from Kodak. The snap is good. 10th punt in the game for Texas, and that's a good one, way up in the air. Takes a bounce, and it takes an Oklahoma bounce, and then it's batted around, and it's going to be put down just inside the 30-yard line at about the 29. With 1:44 to go in the game. Also brought to you today by the Bell System. People using technology to keep your phone system the best in the world. And by Mr. Goodwrench from the General Motors Parts Division. Keep that great GM feeling with genuine GM parts. Oklahoma now substituting, sending their people in. To tell you that the executive producer of NCAA football is true knowledge. Coverage of today's game produced by Bob Goodrich, directed by Andy Sedaris. As Oklahoma comes up first down just short of their 29. J.C. Watts is the quarterback, working out of the I formation. Give the ball to Barry Joyner, the fullback. Fumble. Texas covers the ball, and Texas has the ball with Glenn Blackwood, number 37, covering it. And so the Longhorn offense comes trotting back on the field. Our technical director today, John Allen, Associate Director Kurt Gowdy Jr., and another look at it.
Here's a trap right up the middle. Joyner has the ball. He has it protected, but I guess Taylor's going. Yes, Taylor takes it right away from him. Lance Taylor, according to Darrell Royal and Freddie Akers, is one of the best linebackers they've had, probably the best since Nobus. Tommy Nobus. He's a good one.
Mish goes wide to the open side of the field, and Lamb Jones comes to the left side. Donnie Little at quarterback. He wants to throw. He looks for Lamb Jones. Goodman's after him, and Goodman gets him. Slows him down at least, and the tackle is then made down around the 27-yard line. So He's a little bit short of the first down. He'll need about a yard. Our technical manager is Sandy Sandberg for today's telecast, and the unit manager, Marshall Lopez. Well, we know that Billy Sims has got to be the offensive player of the game, and Oklahoma will get a $1,000 scholarship for its general scholarship fund in the name of Billy Sims from Chevrolet. And Leroy King, good move, gets loose. And it's first down, Texas, down just inside the 12-yard line of Oklahoma. And the Horns are trying to get another one on the board. 51 seconds. Oh, it is good. It is Kermit Goody, G-O-O-D-E, from Hallettsville, Texas, in at that position, who shook loose on the sideline. Frank, who do you like for the Defensive Player Award?
I believe I would pick Mathis. He and Kinlaw have both played outstanding games, as has Hunt and Cumberland.
Reggie Mathis is our defensive player of the game. And Oklahoma will get another $1,000 reward as Lam Jones takes the bullet pass and takes it in, but the referee threw the penalty flag standing just beyond the Texas backfield and immediately indicates illegal procedure.
That's too bad, because the pattern that they threw on this down is really the toughest to defend against close to the goal line. A quick slant in with Jones coming just inside, and you can see him. The quarterback looks one way. Well, he should look this way, but he looks right at him and throws the ball coming inside. It's just impossible to cover. The linebacker doesn't knock it down. It's a touchdown.
But if, huh? Ball is put back just outside the 15-yard line. First down. They can't get a first down. I don't think time nor field position indicates it. Mathis today had 5 tackles, 5 assists, 3 tackles for losses, fumble, recovery, and a broken up pass. And another penalty flag goes down on the field. Probably going to be a little interference whistled on that one.
This was a slant in to the flanker side, and Jemison just had a hold of Mitch, I guess it was, turning in, and he couldn't get free, and it's, well, I guess they're going to call it offense.
Wave it off. There will be no Prudential College football scoreboard. The National League Baseball Championship Series is going to come on just as soon as we conclude this game. From Los Angeles, Dodger Stadium. We have 41 seconds to play as you take one more look at sun-swept Dallas, Texas on this autumnal afternoon and the Texas State Fairgrounds.
A little unusual call to throw the flag on pass interference, then take it up and put it in your pocket. It takes a lot of courage.
Yes,
I commend him. If it wasn't there, it wasn't there.
Well, I'd like to see an official, though, if he realizes that he might have anticipated and something didn't quite happen or whatever. And man, he's got that much courage. He's a good official.
Alabama glass. Leave it walk.
Little looking for somebody. Nobody down there to throw to, and they chase him out of bounds and stop the clock at 36 seconds. The outcome of the game is academic. Oklahoma has won it 31-10. Texas trying to punch in a touchdown, and it's only for the sake of their dignity that they score here, because the issue is in the bank. Oklahoma rolls along undefeated, and time is called for the moment. And let's check that final score of the Michigan game. There's a player hurt on the sidelines.
All right, and it is a final as Arizona carried the Wolverines right to the hilt today, and Michigan finally won it 21-17 in a thriller in Ann Arbor. Incidentally, you'll see highlights of the SMU-Ohio State game. You'll see the Nebraska-Iowa State game and many others tomorrow on College Football 78 at 11:30 Central, 12:30 Eastern on for most of these ABC stations.
Basil Banks was the injured player, and he comes across the field to the Oklahoma bench with 36 seconds remaining on the clock. Looking ahead to the Big 8 schedule for Oklahoma and their future, and I'm always reluctant to suggest this, but I've got to think that the 2 tough ones left for them will be Colorado in Boulder and Nebraska. Little back to throw, loops it up, and Mish is there just off his fingertips, incomplete. And 31 seconds remain to play in the game.
Good play by Jemison. Was staying with Mish all the way down. It was a perfect pass, except that he couldn't quite reach far enough. Thrown over the head of the defensive back.
Oklahoma took the opening possession, marched right on down the field. Kenny King's 55-yard run, the big play. Sims took it in from 18, just off 7-0, and they really never trailed in the ball game. They have pretty well controlled it. Donnie Little is going to be sacked back on the 20-yard line with 25 seconds to play in the football game. And once again, John Goodman, who played an outstanding defensive game at tackle for Oklahoma today, got the quarterback. But in picking Reggie Mathis, and there may be some of you who wonder why he was so impressive to us, it's because he played oftentimes the open side of the field so very well. And Texas being a team with running backs like the Jones boys, you just cannot let them get out there. Mathis was a great force in not allowing it.
He turned most of their plays back to the inside, and that's his assignment. If he can't make the play, turn it inside to Kinlaw, Goodman, and the other big linemen. And he did it all afternoon.
Just a few moments, we'll have the Dodgers and the Phillies in the National League Championship Series, and Billy Sims just breaks out of there and give him one more step, and he would have been long gone. 19 seconds to play. Sims now, the offensive player of the game, the Chevrolet offensive player, 25 carries, 131 yards.
In his first debut against the University of Texas, he's from up here at Hooks, Texas, right south of Texarkana, where coaches spent months trying to recruit him.
At the 41, the clock winds down, and they will not snap it. And so the final score in the Cotton Bowl in Dallas, Oklahoma 31, Texas 10.